Hey guys, HCGChica. Okay, so I'm back and I'm ready to talk about just different ways and ideas for making it easy to drink sufficient fluids while on the HCG diet. Again, just watch part 1 of this video if you haven't, just as far as my warning about making sure not to drink too much liquids on HCG, especially drinking too much all at once can actually be dangerous. So maybe just check that out. And anyway, I got some really neat tips from other HCGers about over a year ago when I asked them for ideas on how they get their water in or how they get their fluids in, and I wanted to share it with everybody. I'll show you guys, first I'm going to show you like maybe different containers to use, and then I'll show you different things to, make water taste like something else and not be just water. So first of all, I'm going to show you what I use. I actually drink out of a quart canning jar. I'm the only person I know that does this. I go to CrossFit, this big workout class I go to, and sometimes I get teased for my canning jar because everyone else has, regular plastic workout sports bottles, and I'm drinking out of this glass canning jar. So anyway, it's awesome. I love glass. It's easy to sterilize and put in the dishwasher. You can put hot and cold liquids in it, and it's just awesome. They have these awesome plastic lids that you can buy for them that are easy to clean and stuff like that. And since it's a quart, if I drink 4 of these a day, that's a whole gallon. And that's quite a bit of fluids, and it's easy to do that because I don't have to refill so much. If I was drinking out of a little 8-ounce mug, I would have to be refilling it so many times, and to me that's kind of a turn off for getting enough liquids in, is if I have to like work too hard, and be thinking about it all day. So with this little quart one, I don't have to think about it too much. So that might be one idea. One person that gave me their input says they like to drink out of a wine goblet. It makes it feel more special, and so I thought that was a good idea. This one's actually a pretty large one, so you could fill this up with, your beverage of choice that falls within the guidelines of HCG. Another person that wrote in mentioned that when they're at work, they actually fill up I think they said there was a 2-quart pitcher, which I think this is probably about what that is, a 2-quart pitcher full of water. They would do that as soon as they got to work, slice up a lemon, put that in there with the ice water, and just kind of drink that throughout their day at work. And then as a treat, when they finished the first 2-quart pitcher, they would maybe use some different flavor enhancers for the second 2-quart pitcher to kind of treat themselves. So I thought that was kind of neat. Another person wrote in and says they use this huge, what was it called? I think it's called a Bubba keg. It's a 52-ounce Bubba keg. I'm going to show you a picture of that now. See, it's nice and big, and I found it on Amazon for like 15 bucks. So that's not too bad at all. Again, the nice thing about having these larger containers is that you're not having to remind yourself to refill it like 8 times, throughout the day. So that's really nice. Something else that several people mentioned was that something with a straw. The Bubba cake, I think you can put a straw in it, and technically just any of these you could put a straw in it, but drinking from a straw seems to make it easier to drink more liquids, so that was kind of a neat tip. That's something I haven't actually done myself. As far as making your water something different that tastes good, of course there's coffee, there's tea, You know, there's a lemon you can put in your water. But I just wanted to show a few different ideas. These are some things that I've tried adding to my water. These are liquid stevia flavors. This one's grape. This one's chocolate. This one's English toffee. They have a bunch of flavors. The brand is Sweet Leaf Liquid Stevia. And since they have both a flavor and the sweetness from the stevia, it's kind of an all-in-one thing. And, you know, obviously 0 calories. Um, yeah, and they're really tasty. And I would put, you know, a dropper of that into my quart canning jar, and it's actually pretty tasty. So that's, you know, that may be something you can try. Another thing that I have tried before are what are called Capella drops. This one's cola, this one's gingerbread. They have a bunch of flavors. Capella drops. Now, the thing that's different about these is that they are a flavor only, so they do not have any sweetness. I didn't know that when I got these. I didn't really get it, but basically these are like a, you know, natural and artificial flavor concentrate. So it's just a flavoring, so you need to still add some sweetener like stevia or erythritol or something like that to make it sweet. But there's a huge variety of flavors when it comes to these. I don't know, again, as far as the cost goes on those, you know, I can't remember, but that's another idea. I love Trader Joe's organic stevia extract. I've tried a number of different stevia brands for just regular stevia, and this is by far my favorite. It has no aftertaste to me, or at least the least aftertaste of any I've tried. It's the organic one. You had the non-organic is just like all the others, but it's not cheap. It's $10 for this little thing. Technically, it says 622 servings in it though. But I guess I like things really sweet, because when I use it, I definitely do not get 622 servings. This won't last me very long, but it's very, very tasty. So that's another good thing for just plain stevia. The other thing is, someone mentioned yerba mate tea. I think it's supposed to be a good replacement for drinking coffee if you're trying to get off coffee or have less caffeine. I didn't care for this, but you know what was interesting is the person who mentioned this says that they make their yerba mate tea with water that's 165 degrees. And when they do that, then the tea is not bitter. And I know that that is true. Depending on what tea you have, the temperature of the water makes a big difference. So, and you might be thinking like, well, how do I, you know, make sure the water is 165 degrees? They actually have some automatic hot water, you know, those electric tea kettles. And they have an electric tea kettle that will heat it to a specific degree based on the setting you put it on. So that would actually probably work well for this. Unless you want to, like, you know, pull out the candy thermometer or something. I guess you could always do that. So that was interesting. You can make lemonade. This is what another viewer mentioned, and I've done it as well. If you just use some lemon juice and stevia in water, it's really, really good. Very refreshing, and especially when you're on HCG and you're not having a whole lot of other sweet stuff, it really, really hits the spot. So that's something you can do. There's also the Mio water enhancers. To be honest, I'm not a fan of them because the sweetener in them is sucralose, and I'm not too big on those artificial sweeteners anymore. But sometimes, you know, if you're feeling really desperate and it's like that, or going out and eating a piece of chocolate cake, probably, yeah, go ahead and have the Mio water enhancer. So I'll show you a picture of that here. And then aside from that, you know, before I got married, I wasn't a tea drinker. And my mother-in-law actually got me drinking tea. So there may be some of you out there who aren't tea drinkers. And, you know, if you're going to do HCG, I suggest you start. unless you really love water plain, which some people do, but some people really don't. So if you were like a soda addict before, I really suggest you start drinking tea. And you know what? It doesn't have to be boring. There are a lot of really cool teas out there. I'm going to just show you a few. This is Celestial Seasonings. This one's called Tropic of Strawberry, and it's really good. You know, now keep in mind, these are not like super, super natural things. These have different natural flavors in them, and that's why they taste so good. And, you know, they're really good. You put this with a little stevia, and it's just like some awesome sweet drink. It's really good. I drank a lot of this type of stuff on my last round. Here's another one. This is Bigelow brand called Perfect Peach. I love this one. It's really good. This is a more expensive tea. Those other two are more common, cheaper ones. But just to show you the variety that's out there, this one's called Apricot Amaretto. And it smells so good. It smells like amaretto. Oh, it's just so heavenly. And this is a loose leaf tea, you know, if you can see that. So this is a little bit more pricey. But you know, you're eating so little on HCG, you might be able to afford a slightly more expensive tea now and then, right? So, because you're eating a piece of meat that's like this big. So anyway, so that's just to show you some of the variety. Another really good one is Good Earth tea. They have caffeine and caffeine free. It's kind of like the base of it's really cinnamony, but it's really, really delicious tea. It's really yummy. Here's another more pricey brand, but very good quality, Apricot Decaf. They have the black tea version as well, and this has a wonderful apricot, you know, smell to it, and it's really good. So pretty much when I'm on my rounds, I combine all these different teas into my quart canning jars, and I, you know, put stevia to taste, and it's great. I mean, I would just do that all day long, you know, anytime I wanted to eat, which was, you know, frequently, especially at the beginning. I just try to just drink a lot instead, and, you know, it feels good. But just remember, as a warning, in my last video, I talked about being careful not to drink too much, because that is possible to do, and I don't want anyone getting sick. Oh yes. Also, there's something called stevia flavored crystals and stevia powder. I'm going to show you a picture of those now. So these packets are nice. The stevia flavored crystals are sweetened with stevia and xylitol. And then the stevia powder, that one is sweetened with stevia and erythritol, so a little bit different. But those are very tasty. You know, you put them in the water. Price-wise, I don't know that it's the best deal or not. But again, you know, when you're on HCG, it's kind of for this short, limited time, and you want to try to figure out what you can do to make just that time period successful. And if it means that you spend a little bit more, when you look at it in the grand scheme of things, it can often be worth it, you know, for sure. So anyway, those are just a few ideas. I hope that helps. I meant to do this vlog like literally over a year ago, and I never got around to it, so that's pretty sad. But I finally did it, so I hope that helps, and let me know if you guys have any other tips. Go ahead and put them in the comments, and that way, you know, there'll be more stuff, more ideas for people to take a look at. All right, I'll talk to you soon. Bye.